Hey guys, so for those of you who followed my channel for a really long time, I've made no secret of the fact that I am a tremendous fan of Phantasm. I am probably one of the biggest fans with a PH out there that you will ever see. So one can imagine I was delighted when Don Coscarelli released Phiction. It's basically an extended universe kind of take on Phantasm. It's comprised of 6 stories, and I adore this book. And if you are a Phantasm fan, I cannot recommend this enough. First thing that I would like to say is Don Coscarelli is actually a good horror writer. In fact, I think that these stories are eerier than most of his films. I mean, I would say they match kind of the eeriness of the first Phantasm, and in fact, there are some characters in this who were very underutilized or only there to provide exposition. For example, Toby from the first Phantasm, you may remember him from the scene where he's talking to Jodie and they're given the whole rundown about how Jodie wants to leave, but he's stuck taking care of Mike and shit like that. There is a story in this book that is just about Toby's experience, and it's basically when the events of the original Phantasm are unfolding, just told from his perspective. There's a story in here about Reg predating Phantasm in his years in Vietnam. And before each of these stories, Don Coscarelli has like a little blip saying, like, what inspired him or whatnot. And Reggie, the real Reggie Bannister, actually served in Vietnam. The story is in no way, shape, or form based on anything because Reggie hasn't divulged any information about that, nor has Don Coscarelli asked. But it still was the inspiration for the story, and it was a pretty good, creepy one. The random ass dude from the original Phantasm, the one who grabs Mike and Mike bites him, and then the sphere gets him. He's the first person that you see get killed with the sphere. Again, random ass character who just appears in this one scene and then he's gone. They basically go into a whole backstory about him. There is a story about Tim from Phantasm 3. And Don Coscarelli even says that, he'd like to kind of do a sequel story about Tim. The one in this book is a prequel. It's essentially, yeah, it's essentially just about like Tim the first days that he was kind of surviving on his own. And it actually fleshes out his character a great deal. It's a kind of a sad story, to be honest with you. There's a story called Rocky Road, which is about Rocky and her friend from Phantasm 3. There's one about Chunk, the short dude from Phantasm 5, Ravager. Basically, it's called Escape from New York. Honestly, from one Phantasm fan to all the other Phantasm fans, we're not going to get another movie. The late, great Angus Scrimm is no longer with us. So, I mean, they can't make another movie, but this is the closest that we're ever going to get, and it's worth every penny that you'll spend on it. Don Coscarelli teases at the end of this book that there might possibly be a Phiction Volume 2 coming out. Don, if you're watching this video, I'm going to tag you in it on X, okay? Because you said in the back of the book you want to hear our thoughts. Dude, definitely do it. Definitely do a volume 2. One about Jebediah Morningside. What happens when he first makes passage through the Dimension Fork? That would be awesome. I would love to see a sequel about Tim and what happens to him at the end of Phantasm 3. Maybe even like a what if scenario. Like, what if Elizabeth hadn't died in Phantasm 3. I always got the sense that maybe like you had a different plan with her, but due to budgetary restrictions, what happened in Phantasm 3 happened. I don't know. I mean, that's me being presumptuous, but still, please keep them coming. Or what happened to Mike and Reggie and Jodie and Chunk and Rocky at the end of Ravager? Just continue the story. I mean, I just this is truthfully a gift. I'm very, very grateful for it. Again, if you are a fan of the film series, I promise you won't be disappointed by this. Legit, I'm that confident in that you will enjoy this book. And in my last video where I did a shout out to a bunch of people, there were 2 people that I forgot, and I do apologize. Barry from Wolfman's Got Nards. I highly recommend that channel. He discusses films like very much in depth, like he'll stick with a particular theme. He'll discuss fan theories, and he's just a pleasure to listen to. He really has a love for movies, and he shares my perspective on the latest Halloween trilogy. So definitely check him out. And my friend Bobby, he's really awesome. He does his own film reviews, and I mean, honestly, his knowledge of movies, he makes me look like a straight up novice. So definitely check his channel out. All right, guys, that's all she wrote.